What if being the responsible one, the one who always does what's expected, is actually destroying your responsibility to yourself?
Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's close to my heart, what I call the responsibility trap. If you've always been the reliable one, the steady one who takes care of everyone, who never drops the ball, this episode might hit close to home. Because for so many women I speak with, being responsible has become the gold standard of how they live. And yet, what once often felt like pride and purpose has started to feel like pressure. In this episode, you'll discover why the way you were raised to be responsible might actually be keeping you stuck, how carrying everyone else's expectations can disconnect you from your own, and what true responsibility really means to your family, your work, and most importantly, to yourself. So if you've ever felt guilty for wanting more or afraid that following your heart might be selfish, stay with me. Because by the end of this episode, I hope you'll see that the most responsible thing that you can do is to honor the person you were always meant to become. Like many of you, I was raised to be responsible above all else, to be responsible to my family, to do the right thing, to act conservatively, and to not take risks. And that probably comes from my upbringing as a South Asian female, where my immigrant parents were risk averse, and rightly so, as they were building a new life here in Canada and wanted the best for their children. They wanted me to work hard, to be practical, to stay on the safe path. And perhaps that type of upbringing resonates with you too. Perhaps you were brought up to be risk averse, to stay the course, and to follow instructions. And I actually did that too. I did follow those instructions. I got a great education, got married, had children, and I built a 25 years career in the pharmaceutical industry, which was solid and successful and checked all the boxes. I was proud of what I had achieved, and I still am. But somewhere along the way, I realized that even though I was doing everything right, something inside of me was quietly fading. Does that sound like you? Perhaps you've made the sensible choices, the stable ones. You stayed in the job that provided security, even when it stopped bringing you joy. You made sure everyone else was around you was okay, and sometimes at the expense of your own dreams. You've been responsible for your family, your home, your career. You've shown up for everyone who's ever needed you, which at one time, I might add, was perfectly okay. But it's not okay if it comes at your own expense. But lately, you might be feeling a kind of emptiness, the one that kind of creeps in at night when the house is quiet and you finally have a moment to think. And you might be catching yourself and wondering, when did this responsibility start to feel so heavy? One of my clients recently said to me, she said, Kavita, I've done everything right. I've stayed the course. I've worked hard. I've kept things stable for my family. But I feel I've built a beautiful life for everyone else. And somewhere along the way, I lost myself. That one statement really broke my heart. So I wanted to share this with you today because if you feel this way, know that you're not alone. You have built a good life, a respectable one, and you've provided for your family, you've shown up for others, and done everything that you were supposed to. But lately, that same sense of duty feels heavier than it used to be. And you start to feel the weight of being everyone else's anchor, reliable, steady, responsible, yet realizing that you've neglected the one person who needs you the most, which is yourself. And you may also think that you're modeling responsibility for your children, but deep down, you wonder if you're actually modeling limitations, showing them that dreams are risky, that comfort matters more than fulfillment. Could it be possible that your children are learning that dreams are irresponsible? But it's not your fault. We were taught that being responsible meant playing it safe. But over time, playing it safe can quietly dim that inner spark that makes you feel alive. So, my friend, the fear of being irresponsible can run deep. It's generational and it's often cultural. You were raised to believe that risk is dangerous, that comfort equals safety, that choosing yourself might mean disappointing others. And the truth is, the people that taught you that, whether your parents, your mentors, your community, they did it out of love. They wanted to protect you. But here's the problem: what they called wisdom often was fear in disguise. And now we've internalized that. And every time we think about doing something different, whether that's changing careers or starting our own businesses or even setting a boundary, that voice raises up. Be careful. You have responsibilities. What will people think? And yet, deep down inside, another voice whispers, there has to be more than this. I'll give you another example. One of my clients, she's a brilliant woman, successful by every measure. She said to me, I'm succeeding at something that's killing my soul. Her words really stopped me and made me think, is this the type of success you really want? For me, when I finally admitted that I wanted to change careers, I felt a really overwhelming sense of guilt. I thought, how could I want something different when I already have so much? I have a wonderful family, a good job, stability, and yet I felt restless. That restlessness was my inner voice, the one I'd had been ignoring for many years. It wasn't trying to destroy my life, it was trying to save it. I often talk about that inner voice, and you can call it your inner mentor. It's that guiding voice that we all have that often we don't listen to. It did take me years to listen to it. And I'll be honest, stepping away from a comfortable, successful corporate career into the unknown of entrepreneurship wasn't easy. It was one of the scariest things I've ever done. But what scared me more was the idea of waking up 10 years later and still wondering, what if? That was a moment I realized the most responsible thing I could do wasn't to stay comfortable, but to be true to myself. Also, if I wanted my sons to live courageously, to pursue what lights them up, I needed to model that for myself. And I want that for you too. We may not realize it, but those around us are watching, especially our kids if we have them. When they see that you are stuck in something that doesn't fulfill you, they learn that dreams are dangerous, that playing it safe is wise, that joy is optional. But you and I both know that that's not what we want for them or for us. So what can we do about this? Let's gently challenge the belief that keeps us trapped. This belief is the following: taking risks with my career, my life, or my dreams would be selfish and irresponsible. How does that relate to you? Does that resonate with you? Here's what I've learned. I realized that what I call being responsible was often just fear holding me back. Real responsibility isn't about avoiding change. It's about making conscious choices that align with your truth. When I left my corporate job, people said I was brave, but the truth, I was terrified. I second guessed myself every day. I wondered if I was being foolish. But then I realized that the real irresponsibility would be ignoring my truth. Because when we silence our purpose, we silence that very part of us that makes us come alive, the part that our communities and our families and this world really needs the most. My friend, your family needs your example of courage more than your example of compliance. And that courage doesn't have to look reckless. It's not about quitting your job tomorrow or burning everything down right away or even at all. It's about starting with one honest step towards what feels aligned and not just expected. And that's what I call responsible courage. The kind that respects your responsibility, but also makes space to rediscover your gifts and not bury them. It's like sailing a boat. Staying anchored forever might feel safe, but boats aren't built to stay tied to the dock. They're built to move and to explore. And when you finally untie yourself from the expectations that have kept you still, you don't sink, you begin to steer. So, responsibility isn't about staying small so others can stay comfortable. It's about expanding into who you're meant to be so others can see what's possible. When you're honoring your purpose, you're not abandoning your loved ones, you're fueling them. You're teaching them that what it looks like to live in integrity. So, think of it this way. Responsibility feels heavy when it's disconnected from who you are, but it feels light and fulfilling when it aligns with your truth. And that's what this is all about, your truth. When you live with alignment and courage, everyone around you benefits. Your relationships deepen, your family sees your light. You begin to attract opportunities that reflect your true, positive, anabolic energy, not your fear. That's the power of redefining responsibility, is understanding your truth, your reason for being, your ikigai. The entire reason I'm sharing this with you today, my friend, is because real responsibility isn't about staying safe. It's about becoming who you're meant to be so you can serve at your highest level. So, how do we become who we are meant to be? If you're realizing that doing the right thing has led you away from yourself and feels wrong in your soul, and you really want to model authentic courage to your family, then the first step is to pause, to breathe, and to ask yourself, what does responsibility to myself really look like? When we go through these transitions in our career or life, these questions are crucial to understanding what we really want and how to move forward. These transitions are triggered by something, whether they're a job loss, a retirement, an empty nest, or even that inner knowing that you want more. And it's okay to let go of the responsibility that you've always felt to others and shift that responsibility onto yourself. That's why I always say, if not now, when? It's not too late to shift these beliefs. And that's exactly what I do. And I work with every day with women through my coaching program. It's my time now. Through my framework, the Pyramid of Reinvention, we uncover your ikigai, which is your reason for being, and help you rebuild your confidence, your clarity, and your energy from the inside out. You'll learn how to move from reacting to life to shaping it with more intention and joy. Because being responsible doesn't mean giving up your dreams. It means managing your energy, your gifts, and your purpose in a way that sustains you and serves others. So, my friend, if responsibility has started to feel like a weight instead of a way forward, it's time to lighten it up. Let's have a conversation about where you are, what's holding you back, and how you can step into a new chapter that's aligned, authentic, and joyfully responsible. Visit itsmytimenowcoaching.com or simply click the link in the show notes to book a complimentary breakthrough session with me today. Because the world really doesn't need more people doing the right thing. It needs more people doing the real thing with heart, integrity, and courage. And it's your time now to do just that.